This week, we head back to Otsego County, into the countryside and rolling hills west of Cooperstown. Our destination is Burlington, but our shortcut gets us lost southeast of Edmiston. On Dutch Valley Road, a friendly-looking little red barn beckons a visit. Here we find the creative Stevens family. Mary Claire and Bruce have a ceramic shop where they pour, fire, and glaze ceramics. Mom works in plastic canvas, and Bruce is carrying on the family leatherworking craft.
I learned my skills from my dad, he learned it from his grandmother Simmons. And this generation after generation we're getting it. The tools we used, my great-grandmother had them first, and then she sold them to Paul Perkins, who lives up here in Edmiston. And when he passed away, my dad bought them back. Then my dad got to the point where he couldn't do it anymore, and then I've taken over and continued on. And it's surprising that the tools themselves, even if you go out to buy new ones, they're the same as what they were then. The tools that great-grandma had are the same tools that they sell today, and they don't wear out. I love the smell. Yeah. That's the main thing. Smell, and you can take any tension you have and pound like crazy and you get rid of it.
Bruce and Mary also have ceramic classes here every Monday night from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock. People come here and they pour their own and they do whatever has to be done to make them the final product. And what caught my eye, though, is something that I dare say is in everybody's home at Christmas time. It's these trees. I can remember my mother having one years ago. This is before it's been fired. And the little lights go in all of those holes. And here's a finished one over here that's green. They really take me back a few years.
For more information on Sunshine Leather and Crafts, visit our website, mohawkvalleyliving.com. We get our bearings and head east to the town of Burlington. Located in the Wharton Valley between the Butternut and Unadilla valleys, the town of Burlington is made up of about a dozen tiny hamlets. We stop in to the old school, which is now the town clerk's office and home to the Burlington Flats Historical Society.
Burlington was formed in 1792 off Otsego County, and basically the reason people wanted to settle here, it was cheap land for the farmers. Judge Cooper was offering reasonable price land at 10% down and payments over 10 years at a reasonable rate of interest, so it was quite popular with the settlers coming in from Connecticut and Vermont. Basically, it's always been farming, agricultural wise, but the early industries were potasheries, and that was the only way a farmer could make a little bit of money to trade at the general store in Cooperstown for livestock or such items that they might need throughout their stay here in Burlington, but they basically worked the land. Mm-hmm. People that live in Burlington today travel elsewhere to work. The farming industry has dropped off a bit. It was very much an agricultural place of business until the late or mid 1980s. Mm-hmm. And then people just generally communicate to Cooperstown, Oneonta, Utica to work now. It's very rich historically. I think we got a lot to offer there, and generally people are interested in the historic aspects of it.
Burlington was and still is a dairy community, so naturally they would make cheese. But in walking around this museum, something caught my attention, and it's this machine here. This machine was used to make butter. Now, how is it powered? It was powered by dogs or sheep that would get on this treadmill and work the treadmill, and that's how they churn butter. That's a man's best friend. Amazing.
Whether fate or destiny or plans from somewhere above, certain people were bound to meet to share a little bit of their love for a day, a week, a year, or sometimes maybe more. A little bit of love can make this life mean so much more. A little bit of love can make this life mean so much more.
I'm standing in front of the oldest building in the town of Burlington. It's believed to have been built sometime around 1798. Since then, it has been home to many doctors and to the constable. And you can stand in front of this beautiful stone structure and almost feel the history emanating from it. Huh.
Another old building historian Rick Graham pointed out was the old Otsego Mutual building. The company was started in the late 1800s in the home of Silas Kelsey. The insurance business was not an easy one back in the days when dams often collapsed and whole business districts burned to the ground. Today, the company employs 20 people at its modern facility on Arnold Road.
Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone. And when I think of you, I'll ask myself why. Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone, I can give up.
If you turn left at Otsego Mutual on Arnold Road and travel about a half a mile down Norton Road, you'll come across a strange rock formation. It is known simply as Hole in the Rock, and it has long been a popular picnic spot and local curiosity. Legend has it that the Iroquois used the rock as a blind for deer hunting. Arnold Road will also take you by Basswood Road, which leads to Basswood Pond. Located on 711 acres of state forest, Basswood Pond is a 15-acre man-made lake stocked with brook and rainbow trout. Here you'll find a handicap-accessible picnic table and fishing platform.
Hand me down my walking cane. Hand me down my walking cane. I'm leaving on the midnight train. My sins all taken away, taken away.
Did you know that William Hulbert, one of the founders of baseball's National League, was born in Burlington Flats? William Hulbert and Albert Spalding founded what was to be baseball's first major league in 1876. He was enshrined in the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1995. The town of Burlington has always been a farming community, and there are still many dairy farms. But more and more hobby farms are springing up. Ann and Dick Weiss raise miniature horses at their small farm overlooking the Wharton Valley. These social little horses are ready for the upcoming season in their woolly winter coats.
Well, I had a Shetland pony from the time I was 6 months old and naturally outgrew that. Then I had a horse when I was about 12 years old until about 30. And like a lot of older people, they get to the point where they're not sure they really want to or can handle a large horse. And the miniatures seem to fulfill this empty space, and you can do pretty near everything with them that you can do with a large horse. It's just on a small scale. Miniature horses seem to be milder, I think, as far as you know, their attitude, and they're very lovable. They like all the attention you give them, and they're just a fine animal. I drive for my own entertainment, and I occasionally put them in a parade, and especially the Burlington Flats Memorial Day Parade. A lot of people look forward to seeing the little critters, and sometimes I have my nephew drive one and I drive another, and it's just a fun thing to do. And for entertainment, any time of the year, I just go out, put a harness on, and drive up the road and around the block about 5 miles to a trip. Oh yeah, sometimes like Scotty out here, if I don't drive him every so often, I walk out and he sees me, he'll stand there and nicker and like, are we going driving today?
Look for Ann and her miniature horses in the annual Burlington Flats Memorial Day Parade. Visit our website for more information, mohawkvalleyliving.com.